Hi guys, welcome back to Unlox. In this video, we will be starting with the next phase of web development, that is CSS. If you haven't watched the video of complete HTML series, click down the link below and watch it guys. Now coming for CSS. So what is a CSS guys and why it is so important of building the website? I will show you an example, a website which we are creating without CSS and the same web page we are creating with this CSS. You will see a complete difference when you are building a website only through the HTML. So it is giving you the structure of the website. As you can see this, it is supposed to be a cafe website, but right now we are only able to see all the HTML tags and the content. And you can see the major difference, right? The images are not aligned properly, the size of the images are very big. And this is what exactly happens when you are making a website only by using HTML. But what if you are adding CSS along with the HTML guys? It will completely change the look of the website. As you can see this, now this is the same website by the use of CSS, which is giving you a very clear and attractive, beautiful website. That is what the CSS do inside the web development. So right now you can understand the importance of CSS is to provide the styling, not just normal styling guys. Styling always includes with color, font. Along with that, you can change the display, layouts and lot more of things inside the CSS. And that we will see in today's session. Now the first thing that we need to understand, how to add CSS in HTML. We need to connect our HTML code and CSS. So basically there are three types of CSS guys. So these are the types known as internal, inline and external CSS. So you might be thinking, why do we need three styles, right? Three types of CSS. So you will see the difference when we are using inline, internal and external CSS guys. So starting with the first CSS property called as inline CSS. Inline, in the same line of the tag. When you are adding style attribute, you can do this style to a particular individual HTML tag. Let us see one example. So as you can see this, right now I just have the HTML code. There is no CSS. Now we will start with the first type, that is inline CSS. So I am creating one HTML file and getting back the basic structure. As you can see this, now suppose I am adding any HTML tag, hello inline CSS. Done. Yeah. After this, if I am adding a paragraph tag, just for you guys to remember, inline CSS means adding style in the same line of tag. Simple as that. Now let us run this particular file guys and see what will be the output when you just run a normal HTML file. As you can see this, you are getting a basic HTML output guys without any styling. Now let us understand how you will do the inline CSS. Now if you want to style h1 tag or whether if you want to style any tag guys, just write one attribute called as style. When you are writing the attribute style, now you have all rights to style this particular h1 tag. But make sure you remember one basic rule, that all the styling should be inside the double quotes. Along with that, let us change the color of the font. To change the color of the font, CSS has one property called as color, and then you can choose any of your favorite color guys. Doesn't matter. Every color is possible. As you can see this, I have written color red and it is there between the double quotes. And I can see the output as well. My heading tag is in red color. Now what if I want to add more than one styling? Now there is one basic rule that we need to understand. Whenever you write one property, put a semicolon after giving the value. Why? Because semicolon is acting like a full stop. Now suppose if I want to move this particular text, the property name is text align center. So now I have two properties, adding a semicolon after each property, and you can see this, my heading tag is in the center of the web page, guys. Can you see this? Great. Now what if you want to do this styling for paragraph tag? Do the same thing. Use a style attribute and write the property. Suppose background color I am writing as black, and then the color of the font I am writing as white. But did you notice anything? That whenever you are about to write any property, CSS will definitely provide you the suggestions. So in this way, it will be very much easy for you to write the property names of CSS. And I can see that my paragraph tag is in background black and the color of the font is white, guys. And this is how you connect your CSS, inline CSS with HTML. Clear? Now you might be wondering, why do we need the second type of CSS, right? But there are a lot of other reasons, okay, that we need the internal CSS. The first, the basic reason is, suppose I have multiple styling properties, 10 styling properties or 8 styling properties. It will be very much difficult for me to write the property's name in the same line, which will definitely make the code very much complex. That is the first thing. Secondly, if I have a very large lines of HTML code, and if I want to do the same styling to all the tags, so why I am writing the same styling again and again? It is just waste our time. It is just wasting our time. So that is the reason, okay, we will move to the second type of CSS called as internal CSS. What it is the name? Internal CSS. Now just remember, what do you mean by internal? Internal means inside. Inside what? Inside the HTML file, you will provide the styling. But now for internal CSS, we use a special tag called as style tag. So now I will be writing a style tag. The question is, where we will write the style tag? Should we write inside the body or should we write something else? Should we write inside the body or should we write somewhere else? So we need to provide the style tag inside your head section. What is the reason behind this, right? Why do we have style tag inside the head? Why not body? So if you notice carefully, guys, in body you are supposed to write your HTML tags, and in head we can write the CSS property, which will make it very much easy for read the CSS code and HTML code separately, guys. Okay, now doing the same example, hello internal CSS. You can choose any HTML tag, doesn't matter, guys, okay, any HTML tag, whether it is a button, div container, span tag, style tag, paragraph tag. So the way you want to use any HTML tag, you can do that. This is internal CSS using style tag inside head section. Clear? Done. Now inside the head section, okay, how you will write the style. Now whenever you want to call your friend, guys, okay, or whenever you want to call anyone, whenever you want to call your friend or any person, guys, we are calling them by their name. Like, hi John, how are you? Right? The same thing, every tag is having one name, guys. So if I want to do the styling for suppose paragraph tag, so I'm calling the tag name and writing the curly bracket. Now inside this opening and closing curly bracket, we are supposed to write the properties. Like what properties? Same. If I want to change the color, I can write red. If I want to move the text, the property is text align, and there are three things. Start means left hand side, center means center of the web page, end means complete on the right hand side. Now let us check end, okay, and give a background color as well. Suppose I am giving a background color as maybe brown. Okay, let us suppose brown. Sir, can we go in any format? Answer is yes. The way you want to do the style, okay, it is not mandatory to go with h1 tag and paragraph. You are free to go in any order, okay, the way you want. You just have to write the proper tag name. Suppose I want to do the styling for h1 tag. What color you want to choose? I want to choose the color called as blue. Done. Now let us check the output. So when I will check the output, we have to notice whether the paragraph tag is having the color brown, yes, and it will be on the end. End means complete right hand side, because we have written text align on the end. Can everyone can see this? Now what is the problem that you realize here? That the choice of the color should be very useful, right? What is the problem that we can see, guys? The choice of the color. Right now if I am using this combination, it is becoming very much hard for the user to read your content. So make sure that CSS, whenever you are doing it, you should definitely do so. So make sure that whenever you are doing the CSS, guys, you should definitely choose the correct options and the properties, which is making it very much easy for user to see the content on the website. And white color, you can see this. I am able to see this. Now if you feel that the font size is very small, do we have any property? Yes, we do have a property called as font properties, where you can change the size, family, weight, style and everything. So I am writing 24 pixel. Now you can see this. Font family I am writing, okay, sorry. So as you can see this, I am choosing font style called as 24 pixel, and it is now easily visible to the user, guys, okay. So make sure that you use it correctly. Now I know that now I can see that what is going on your mind. You might be wondering what is px, that is known as pixel, guys. Like we have meter, centimeter, kilometers, these are the units. And in CSS we use pixel or whether REM for the providing the units for the measurement. So I know what is going on your mind, guys. You might be wondering what is px. Px stands for units. Like we have meter, centimeter, kilometer. In the same way, CSS follows pixel as the unit of measurement. Okay, great. Now this was the example of internal CSS by using style tag inside the head. Now we have one more type of CSS called as external CSS. The name itself says external means outside. Outside what? Outside HTML. So we have to do the CSS outside this HTML file. So what comes in your mind, guys? Do we need one CSS file separately? Answer is yes. So we definitely need to create a CSS file. Now how to create a CSS file? When you create HTML file, you write .html after the file name. The same concept, when you want to create a CSS file, you need to write .css after the file name. When you want to create a CSS file, you need to write .css after the file name. Now suppose I am creating a CSS file called as app.css. You can write anything as the file name, make sure that it is .css. Done. Now I have one HTML file and one CSS file, okay? Let us see that how we will do the styling for this external CSS file. Create separate CSS file using .css extension. Great. Now if I want to do the styling, guys, the concept remains same. Just call the tag name and do the styling. The same way, okay, open your CSS file. There is no format, there is no structure. You can directly start writing the tag name and do the style. Now I will be writing color is equal to red, then text align is equal to center, and suppose my paragraph tag is color is equal to blue. Done. As you can see this, I have done the styling. Now let me run this particular file. Now when I run this, can you see any output in the terms of styling? No, right? What is the issue here? So remember one thing, guys, when two people are stranger to each other, it is very hard to communicate with a stranger. But that same two people are friends with each other, it is easy for us to communicate. So the same thing, the same logic we have to apply, because we have two separate files, one HTML file, one CSS file. We need to connect them. We need to link them, guys. How to link them? whenever you want to link any files, okay, basically a CSS file, we have a special tag called as link tag. Link tag helps us to connect. Now there is one more thing you have to mention, that REL stands for relation. What is your relation to this particular file? And my relation is CSS. So why I am writing style sheet? Style sheet is also known as CSS, guys, okay? CSS means for cascading style sheet, and that is the reason you are writing style sheet. Sir, how we will link to that file? By using href, hyperlink reference, and inside this just write your CSS file, that I will go and link to my CSS file. After you link with the CSS file, can you see we are able to get the output as per the styling? It is in red color, align center, it is in blue color, guys. Now these are the three different ways where we add the CSS styling, guys, inside the HTML. Let me just tell you one more time: inline, internal and external. Now see the important point. What if you are doing the CSS? What if you are performing inline CSS and external CSS at the same time? What will happen, guys? What do you think? Suppose I am writing orange, okay, and providing the inline CSS to h1 tag. My h1 tag is already having a red color, and I am also providing the styling by using inline CSS. So what do you think? What will be the output? Will it be in red or orange? At this situation, the priority will be given to inline CSS. Always remember, inline CSS has the highest priority, then it is internal, and then it is external, guys. Remember this, but the logic wise we should not do that, because it is just creating a lot of confusion. So we always avoid to come at this situation where you are doing or performing two types of CSS in the same code. Alright, so these are the different types. Now let us talk about selectors in CSS. So what are the different types of selectors and how it can be useful when you style the web page, guys? So before we go inside the selectors topics, we need to understand one basic meaning. What do you mean by selectors? Selectors are used to select something, and we will be selecting HTML tags. But why it is so different? So there are 5 types of selectors, starting with ID selectors, class selectors, universal selectors, grouping selectors and tag name selectors. So let us start with tag name selectors. It is very easy. You just have to select a tag by their name. Like suppose if you want to style the h1 tag. So select h1 tag in the CSS, guys. So let me give you one small example here. Suppose I have a h1 tag called as hello, how are you doing? Now let me just turn off this here. Great. Now let us start, guys. Suppose I have a selected tag known as hello, how are you doing? And I want to select this particular h1 tag. Suppose I have a h1 tag called as hello, how are you doing? And I want to style this h1 tag in a different properties of CSS. As you can see this, it is by default giving you the h1 tag without any styling. So let us select the h1 tag. Now whenever you want to call someone, guys, we call probably by their name. The same logic, whenever you want to style any HTML tag, you can just call the HTML tag by their name. So we will use internal styling by using the style tag in the head section, and I am calling the h1 tag and doing the styling. So I can do the styling like color, that is one property. Make sure that you add a semicolon after you write the one property. After semicolon, we are allowed to write any other property as well. But the semicolon is very important in the terms of CSS. As soon as I have given the styling, you can see that now. Let me refresh this. h1 tag is in center and it is in red color, guys. Likewise, you can select any HTML tag by their name. Now, what do you mean by ID selector? Now, ID selector is the concept, guys, okay, that we have to select a tag by their ID name. So what do we? So ID selector is the concept where we give the particular tag one special unique identification name by using the attribute called as ID. Like you guys have your own contact number, right? So in the same way, we have to give a unique name to each HTML tag by providing the attribute called as ID name, or the ID, by providing the attribute called as ID. Now I'll give you a small example. Suppose I have a h2 tag called as Happy Holi. I have one more h2 tag in which I have written web development. Now what is my goal, guys? My goal is that I want to color Happy Holi in a blue color and while web development in a yellow or orange color. Basically in a different sort of styling should be there, both the h2 tag. Now if I go with the tag name, what will happen? If I am writing the tag name as h2, by default selector will select all the tag which is having the same name. So in this situation we have to use ID selectors. By providing a ID that is a unique identification name, make sure that multiple tags cannot have the same ID name. You can write the ID as anything, okay? So I have written ID as Holi and the second ID I have written as Unlox. Now how will you do the styling to the tag which is having the ID, guys? There is one rule that we follow. Whenever you want to do the styling for the ID name, guys, we write with the hash symbol. So just remember providing hash and the ID name. You can follow in any particular order. There is no mandatory rule that we should do the styling for the first ID, okay? So I have written hash Unlocks and a color I am writing as orange. And after that I am doing the styling for hash Holi and the color I am writing as blue. Now can you see the situation, guys? You are doing the styling as per their ID name, not their by tag name. Now you can see the situation, guys. You are doing the styling as per their ID name, not by their tag name. So ID, unique identification. So in this way, you can do the styling to both the HTML tags in a different way. So you can see Happy Holi, the first h2 tag is in blue color, the second h2 tag is orange color. So ID selector is very useful, okay, whenever you are in this situation where you have to do different styling of an individual tag. Now after ID selector, we have something called as class selector. Now what do you mean by class selector? I will give you one small example. Suppose there are 20 students in the class of web development, okay? So the class name is web development. Inside that we have 20 students. Now, if suppose I am giving you an assignment, will that applicable for all the 20 students or only one student? By logic, it should apply for all the 20 students, right? Because they belong to the same class of web development. Same concept is there that if you want to do the styling to multiple HTML tags and if the styling is same, instead of writing the ID, we can go with the class name selector. Simply, guys, if I have a paragraph tag, suppose class I am writing as, class is an attribute, okay? Class I am writing as ABC and I am writing this is Frontend, okay? I have one more paragraph tag or maybe h3 tag is also there. That also belongs to the same class. So multiple HTML tag can have the same class name. Class name belongs to ABC. I am writing this is backend. And then suppose I have a div container as well with the same class name ABC and I am writing this is div. So you can see we have 3 HTML tags belong to same class name. And if my goal is to provide all these 3 tags with the same styling, I can definitely go with the class name. And now we need to understand how to do the styling if they are having a class selector. So by providing a rule that is known as dot and class name. Make sure that you remember whenever you are doing the styling which is having the class attribute, okay, so just write dot the name of the class. Class name is ABC and I am writing color is equal to brown, text align into the center. So all the HTML tags belonging to the same class name will follow the style of color brown and text align center. So you can see this, whether it is an HTML tag, paragraph tag, whether it is an paragraph tag, H2 tag or a div tag, doesn't matter because they belongs to the same class name and we are following the styling, guys. Now apart from ID and class, there is something known as universal selector. Universal selector means if you want to style your entire web page, if you want to give any property which will follow throughout your web page, that is a universal selector. And the symbol for universal selector is one asterisk. Just write asterisk, it will select the entire web page. And now suppose if I am doing the styling of font family is equal to cursive. Now whatever the tags are there in my web page will follow the font family cursive. Now you can see this, every tag, whether it is an H1, paragraph, H2, div, doesn't matter, they are following the styling from universal selector. And it is very important, okay, and it is very useful if you want to style the entire web page or give any specific properties. Apart from this, there is something also known as grouping selector. Grouping means more than one. So either you can group a tag, either you can group the ID, and either you can group a class name as well. But make sure that grouping means more than one. So either you can group a tag with the ID or the class name. But make sure that whenever you are doing this, just write a comma between each and everything. So I have a group of H1 tag, wholly with the ID and a class with ABC. And I am writing font style is equal to italic. So every one which is having the ID, H1 tag and the class will follow the italic format. Can you see this? H1 tag, the ID and the class. So this is known as grouping selectors. Now these are the different types of CSS selectors which help us to style our web page, guys. Apart from selecting the tags, what are the different properties in CSS that we can use for styling the web page? So there is one important concept known as box model. Box model is like the photo frame concept, guys. Okay, I will give you a small example here. So remember box model, there are three important properties. That is border, margin and padding, which you use almost every time when you style the web page, guys. So to remember this, you just have to understand the concept of a photo frame. So what is a photo frame? Something that we hang on our wall? Exactly. Now suppose I have a photo frame and inside this frame I have an image or a photo, guys. Now this inside box is having the image. Now imagine I have a photo frame, okay, and inside the photo frame I have a photo or the image. Got it, guys? Now in box model there are three properties. Always remember this. Box model is having three properties, that is known as border, margin and padding. So we will understand each property in a very simple way. So basically let us start with first property known as border. Border means something that is surrounded by all the four directions. Okay, like every country is having a border means something that you surround from all the four directions. Like every country has its own border, right? Which is surrounded entirely. Same thing, a tag can have its own border, which can surround it from four directions called as left, right, top, bottom. And how to provide the border? So if you see this photo frame, these are the four lines which is surrounding my particular photo frame. And this property has been added by using border. All you have to write border, then first we mention the size of the border, then we mention the type of the border, and then we can mention the color of the border. All you have to write border, guys. First we mention the size of the border, then the type of the border, and the last the color of the border. Now let us take one example out of this. Now let us create a product card. Whenever you are creating something, guys, first you need to understand the structure. So how does the product card structure will look like? So let us roughly design this. So I will have a box like structure, okay. Inside this I will definitely have an image. So I am adding one image here. Then I can have the name of the product, the price of the product, and the button, that is add to cart button. So once we got the structure, now I can write the HTML tag. So I will follow the same thing. If you want to create a box-like structure, we can go with the div container. I can give a class, okay, it is not mandatory, but yeah, it will be very useful. I will show you one trick. So I am adding one image here, src. We will get the image from the internet. Then I am adding the title, suppose the product name is mobile phone. Then I am adding a price, suppose the price is rupees 50,000, and then I have a button. So now you can see this, your structure is ready, okay? And let us see the output. So you can see this, the product card structure looks like this, right? Which is not even attractive at all, right? So if it is not looking good, it will be not. So if you can see the output, it is looking very dull, right? It is not even looking like a product card. So first thing I will do is to get the image. And to get the image, I can go to the platform that is Pixels, one of the great platform, okay, getting all the images. So let me get to the Pixels platform. And I'll get the image of a mobile phone, right? So I will write here as mobile phone and I will search for the image. So any image you can take it, okay, that's not a problem. So let me get this particular image. I will right click, copy the image link and I will paste it inside my source. Done. Now let us check the output after getting the image, okay, what is the output? And why it is so important, guys, okay? Because when you are checking the output, you will get to know the exact issue. And right now you can see that what is the particular issue. The size of the image is very big, right? And then I'm able to see my rest of other tags. So I got to know that I need to fix the size of the image. So how can I fix the size of the image? So I can better do the internal styling, okay, because it will help me to style inside the same HTML file. Now, first I need to make sure that what is the size of my div container. And if you see that a div container is having the class name, I'm going with dot and the class name. If you want to know the exact size, you can simply do one small trick, that providing the background color to the div container. Now in this case, what will happen? We will get to know the exact size taken by the div container, right? As you can see this is the exact size. And after this, my image is getting out of the div container. So if I have a div container, I also have a right to change the height and width. So I'm making the width as 250 pixel, okay. Done. And the height as 250 pixel as well. So height and width is fixed, okay. So as it is a div container, I have all rights to change the height and width. So I'm just changing the width and I'm getting to know that where is the exact div container size is there. So this is my actual size of the div container. So after changing the width, I can see the actual size of the div container. And I can understand one issue which is there, that image is going out of this div container. So how can I fix it? So it is better that I provide the height and width to the image. So you can see in which format I am writing. I can simply write an image tag, but we are targeting a specific image which is present inside my product card. So I am writing the correct address. Dot product, that is the div container. Inside the div container, the image tag without any comma, okay. And I am writing the width will be the 100% size of my div container. Height will be 250 pixel, okay. And object fit will be cover. So in this way, what will happen? Now you can see my image is totally fit inside this particular div container. Now I will provide the first property of box model, that is border. So only thing that you have to write is border, then the size of the border. If I am writing 1 pixel, it will be the thinnest border. Then the type of the border. We have different types of border like dashed border, dotted border and solid border. Solid means one single straight line. And then I will write the color of the border. In this way you can see that it will cover the entire div container from all the 4 directions. So as you can see this, let me just little zoom this. I have a particular black color border from all the 4 directions, right? Top, left, bottom, right. Now, if I change the size as 10 pixel, what will happen? The border thickness will increase. Now you can see this. Everyone can understand this is a border, right? Great. Now let me add one more property called as text align center. So all the text inside the div container will be in the center. Great, great. Now the first property, after the first property we have something called as padding. Now what do you mean by padding, guys? So padding simply means the space inside the border. As you can see, there is a space between the image and all the 4 direction of the border, guys. Yes, that is known as padding. Padding means simply means space inside border, and in technical terms it is adding a space between the border and the content, between border and content. So imagine this image is your one content. Content means any kind of data, guys, right? So it is adding a space between the border and the content. Now if I am adding a padding here, okay, now if I will add a padding, you will see it will add a space from all the 4 directions inside the border, okay. Some extra space will be added inside the border. Let me just add padding here, and I am adding padding, value is given as 20 pixel. So now can you see this? Now my image is not touching the border anymore. My button is not touching the border, and I have a space, some extra space from all the 4 directions. That is simply means by padding, space inside the border. Now what do you mean by margin? Suppose you have one more div container, or let me just explain in this way. Suppose I have one more photo frame which I want to hang. Now in this way what will happen? I want my another photo frame to have a gap between each other, right? And that gap is added by the margin. Margin means space outside the border. What do you mean by margin? Simply means space outside the border from all the 4 directions, okay? Space outside border. Initially from all the 4 directions, okay? So in this way you can see I have one more div container or a product card which you can change the content, okay? And I want to add a space outside the border, okay, from all the 4 directions. So in this case I can add simply margin. So I am adding margin is equal to 10 pixel. So the more you increase the value, I will add more space outside the border. So now you can see this. I have a space on the top side of the border, bottom, left and right. And this is simply known as margin. Adding a space outside the border in all the 4 directions. As you can see this, now your product card has been completed. So I will just simply keep this particular border as 1 pixel. Now it looks very good, okay. Now let me show you one more property called as border radius. Border radius focuses on the edge of the border, okay. These 4 corners, it will make it look like a curve. Border radius focus on the edge of this particular border, the 4 corners, okay, of the borders. And when you are adding border radius, okay, it will make this corner look little curve. So you can see this. So from that pointy edge, now it is a curved corners. Now from that pointy edge, now it is a curved corners from all the 4 corners, okay, for all the 4 corners. So border radius is a very great property. You can definitely add this in your image as well. Okay, so if I am adding border radius and if I keep the same value as 12 pixel and if I keep the same value as 12 pixel, you will see that now your image corners are also curved in the symmetric way. And this is how you can style this particular product card by using the box model. Box model will definitely use 99% of the time whenever we style the web page. Okay, so three major properties: border, margin, padding. Border will surround the tag from all the four directions. Padding will add the space inside the border and between the content from all the four directions, and margin will add the space outside the border from all the four directions. Now if you feel that I want the margin in a specific direction, so you can simply write margin and then the direction name, like left, whether it is right, top or bottom. So the same concept you can do it for padding also, if you want to add a space only in a specific direction, and same for border as well. Okay, so these are the things that you can update in a box model as per your requirements. So this is what a box model property is. Okay, and by using the concept of selectors, now I'll tell you, okay, why did I use the class name here? Suppose I have 4 product card. Okay, the structure remains same. The only thing I need to change is the content. I can have a different image, different name and the different price. But I am doing the styling only for one time because the concept of class name. Multiple tags can have the same class name. Now you can see this, every tag is following the same styling because it is belonging to same class. Alright guys, we have covered selectors and box model in CSS. In the next topic, in the next video, we will be exploring display properties in CSS. So make sure that you subscribe the channel, turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video. Bye.